All right, so if you're a property or a business owner, you spend a ton of time protecting your assets from the ground up, right? But what if the biggest threats, and honestly, the biggest opportunities, are actually hidden in plain sight, literally right above your head? Today, we're going to explore how a simple change in perspective can give you this powerful, unseen advantage in protecting everything you've built. I mean, really think about that for a second. We're talking about those small issues on a roof, the gradual wear and tear, or maybe vulnerabilities you'd only spot from above. These are the kinds of hidden threats that so often turn into the biggest headaches and, you guessed it, the most expensive repairs. And look, it's not just about getting hit with surprise repairs. The traditional, ground-level way of managing property is just loaded with hidden risks and costs. We're talking physical and financial, that can quietly, and I mean quietly, drain your resources. I love this idea because it's so true. The single biggest risk in a traditional property inspection isn't a faulty roof. Nope. It's the simple act of climbing a ladder. It's a danger that's so common, so routine, that a lot of us just completely overlook it. But here's the reality check. $24 billion. That is a staggering number. That's the annual cost of ladder-related injuries to businesses here in the US. So you see, this isn't just a safety issue, it's a massive financial liability hiding right there in plain sight. And those costs, they just ripple out. It's that absolute headache of arguing with an insurance adjuster who's trying to claim that damage was pre-existing. It's the shock of getting a 5-figure bill for a roof repair you never ever saw coming. It's even missing the chance to sell a property faster. It all adds up. So how do we fix this? How do we build a better way forward? Well, it all starts by shifting our perspective. By getting off that dangerous ladder and onto safer ground, we can suddenly capture vastly better information about our properties. And the difference is, well, it's night and day. On one side, you've got the old way, high risk, slow, totally based on someone's subjective notes. On the other, you've got the new reality with drones. Zero fall risk, lightning-fast inspections, and an objective digital record that is pretty much impossible to argue with. And the impact on safety? It's immediate and it's profound. Businesses that use drones in these high-risk environments have managed to cut workplace accidents by up to 91%. That is not a small improvement, folks. That's a fundamental change in how you keep your team safe. But safety is really just the beginning. The true game changer here is the data. With drones, you get these date-stamped images that provide undeniable proof of condition. You can run the exact same inspection route every single time, creating a perfect digital timeline of your property. This lets you spot the tiny issues, a minor leak, a few damaged shingles, long before they turn into a catastrophic failure. Okay, so we've established it's safer and gives you way better data. But here's where things get really smart. We've got to stop thinking of inspections as just another expense. When you do it right, they actually become a strategic financial investment for your business. And this is all possible because of something called the IRS 12-month rule. Now, I know this might sound like some complex tax jargon, but the idea behind it is beautifully simple. It lets you pay for next year's services before this year ends and get the full tax deduction for it right now. Let's walk through a real-world example, just to make it crystal clear. You pay a $2,000 retainer in December for the inspections you need next year, okay? You immediately get to deduct that full $2,000 from this year's income. If you're in a 22% tax bracket, boom, that's an instant $440 in tax savings. Plus, your service and your rates for next year are already locked in. It's a total win-win. And you know what the best part is? This isn't some secret loophole just for giant corporations. Whether you're a sole proprietor, a landlord with a couple of rental properties, an LLC, or an S-corp, you can use this strategy. It transforms what feels like a necessary chore into a smart, deductible operating expense. So let's talk about the ROI, the return on this investment. How does this service actually pay for itself? Well, it all comes down to proof, premiums, and a really tangible payback across the board. The gains in efficiency are just stunning. Real estate listings that have aerial photos, they sell 68% faster. Insurance claims that are backed up by drone data, they get processed up to 40% faster. And critical infrastructure assessments can be done 5 times faster. We all know time is money, and these are some massive time savings. Now let's look at the direct financial payback. You can actually get insurance premium discounts of up to 15%. You slash your repair costs because you're catching problems early. Insurers save money on their end, which helps keep everyone's premiums down. And of course, you get those immediate tax savings. Every single piece of this pie represents money right back in your pocket. And this really brings us to a huge shift in mindset. You're not just buying inspections, you're investing in documentation. And that documentation creates real, tangible financial value and gives you powerful leverage for your business. So it all boils down to these four powerful pillars. First, you dramatically reduce physical risk and liability. Second, you unlock a really smart tax advantage. Third, you arm yourself with undeniable proof for any insurance claim. And fourth, you save actual money through lower premiums and preventative maintenance. Which leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Are you just holding onto an asset and kind of hoping for the best? Or are you actively managing a fully protected investment, using every tool you can to secure and grow its value? The view from above, it just might change your entire perspective.